1971, the year KVUE TV began broadcasting. The big news story that year in Austin was the dedication of the Lyndon B. Johnson Presidential Library. In some ways, this event captured two faces of Austin in the 70s, of the so-called establishment, like the Johnson family, who played a dominant role in the civic life of the city. And kept at a distance that day, activists, protesters, mostly young, opposed to the war in Southeast Asia. In the 1970s, Austin was known mostly as a college town, with the thousands of UT students and UT alum who couldn't bear to live anywhere else after graduation. And there were other Austins in the 70s too, the Austin of an emerging music scene and a new home for the creative people who made it happen. The Austin of state government, the biggest employer in the city back then. The Austin of the citizens who'd been kept out of public office for far too long, but who would, by the late 70s, take their rightful place to represent Austin at City Hall, on the school board, and at the courthouse. And there was the Austin of what was then a small technology scene, home to experimental labs of IBM, Motorola, Tracor, and Texas Instruments. Downtown looked different back then, only two tall buildings, a bank tower clad in golden mirrors built in 1974, and this imposing 26-story Bank of America building, the tallest downtown building in its day, built in 1975. And in the 70s, before it became famous and in some ways notorious for its nightlife, 6th Street was known as a shopping area. But change was inevitable, whether it was the natural beauty of the land, the lure of jobs, or the laid-back culture of the times that drew the young. Austin would begin its growth spurt in 1971. From 270,000 people who lived here back then to 1 million people today, and still growing. What a journey it has been. And KVUE has been fortunate to go along for the ride. Bob Buckaloo, KVUE News.